Welcome to Jeopardy, everyone.
This is Jeopardy! Please welcome today's contestants. Player 1, Player 2, Player 3, and now, here is the host of Jeopardy, Alex Trebek.
Hey, Johnny Gilbert. How is everyone today? Good luck to all three of you in this Jeopardy round. The categories for the Jeopardy round are pets, historic London, Brit Speak, body basics, controversial TV, and in the bookstore. Player 1, you start. Fancy a cuppa, love? Cuppa is a cup of this. Okay, Player 1. Use the Wii remote or press the corresponding Good. Player 1. This colored part of the eye shares its name with a type of flower. It's Player 1. That's correct. Choose again, Player 1. Pink, red, or purplish, a port wine stain is a large one of these, usually on the face or neck. Yes, Player 1. That is correct. You again, Player 1. Also called leukocytes, these blood cells defend the body against infection. Player 1. Yeah! That is correct. We return to you, Player 1. The dura mater is the outermost protective layer that covers the spinal cord and this organ. It's Player 1. That's it. Player 1. Unfortunately, high cholesterol can lead to atherosclerosis, in which these blood vessels become clogged. Player 1. Yes. You get to pick again, Player 1. This brand name has become a noun and a verb for vacuum. Yes, Player 1. Yep. Please pick again, Player 1. While Americans put gas in their cars, the British put in this six-letter equivalent. Okay, Player 1. You are correct. Player 1. It's the Daily Double. You are currently in the lead. Answer. This term for an electrical outlet sounds like a presentations program from Microsoft. You have maintained your lead. Way to go. Player 1, you pick. As they have a tendency to burst open in the frying pan, sausages are popularly called these. Let's hear it, Player 1. Yeah, good. Player 1. pick again. This singer's hip gyrations on The Ed Sullivan Show in 1957 were not shown because they were deemed too sexual. Okay, player one. Right you are. Player one, back to you. In a speech, this real-life VP blasted fictional Murphy Brown for her choice to have a child out of wedlock. It's player one. Right. You again, player one. This animated show proved nothing is sacred with the episode Mr. Hanky the Christmas Pooh. Yes, player one. Right. Please pick again, player one. She shocked many with her wardrobe malfunction in the 2004 Super Bowl halftime show. Player one? Yeah! That's right. Way to go. Choose again, player one. It was alien telekinesis that caused TV's first interracial kiss on this show. Let's hear it, player one. Correct. Player one. You can visit several of these historic structures like Kensington and Buckingham. Okay, player one. That's correct. You get to pick again, player one. Regent's Park was a hunting ground for this 16th century king who never hunted without tiring 8 or 10 horses. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. We return to you, player one. Famous men who orated at Hyde Park's Speaker's Corner include Friedrich Engels and this 1848 Engels co-author. Player one? Good. Select again. Arthur Wellesley, the first Duke of this, was known as a soldier, but had an eye for art, as you can see at Apsley House. Yes, player one. Hey, you're right. Player one, back to you. According to Shakespeare, these conflicts began with a confrontation in the Temple Gardens. It's player one. You got it. Player one. The Teammates by David Halberstam chronicles the friendships of Ted Williams and others on this team. Player one. That's not it. Anyone else? Yes, player three. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? It's player two. Yes. Player two. You pick again, please. John Grisham switched gears with Skipping This Holiday, about a couple who want to skip the consumerism. Okay, player one. Right. Please pick again. The Devil in the White City examines murder, magic, and madness at the 1893 World's Fair in this U.S. city. Let's hear it, player one. Nope. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the correct response. Chicago. You get to pick again. In a Stephen King book, writer Paul Sheldon is weary of this title heroine he created. It's player one. Good for you. We return to you, appropriately. Part 3 of this 1953 novel is Burning Bright. Okay, player one. Right you are. Select again. With more than 70 million living with American households, this is the most common house pet in the United States. Let's hear it, player one. Yes. You again, player one. This type of parrot that bears the name of a South American river can get used to cooler temperatures. Yes, player one. You are correct. Player one. Often advertised in comic books, see these are actually brine shrimp in suspended animation. Player one. Yes. Choose again, player one. William Howard Taft was the last pres to have one of these grazing at the White House. Her name was Pauline Wayne. Yes, player one. Right. And here's the $1,000 clue. One of the oldest domesticated dog breeds is the Saluki, the royal dog of this ancient people. Player one. Nope. Sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's what we were looking for. The Egyptians. Player 3 is in third place, which means, of course, player 3 will select first in Double Jeopardy. Let's see what happens in Double Jeopardy with these categories awaiting the players. Mythical Menagerie, Women of Achievement, Under the Sea, Key to the City, Sports Illustrated Magic Numbers, and Defined in the OED. Let's get back into this now. You have control of the board. Baseball, 4,192 hits. Let's hear it, player one. Sorry. Any other takers? Okay, player three. Yep, on the plus side again. Player three, back to you for our next selection. Hockey, 92 goals. It's player one. That's it. Please pick again, player one. Baseball, 2,131 consecutive games. Okay, player one. Oh, sorry. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Let's hear it, player two. Yes. Select again. Check out the Key of Karakoy in this city, known as Constantinople during the Byzantine Empire. Yes, player one. That's right. Way to go. You get to pick again, player
Track
one.
and
field, 29 feet, 2.5 inches. It's player one. Anyone else? Here's what we wanted. Bob Beeman. Player one. Pick again. Football. 63 yards. Player one. Good for you. Player one, back to you for our next selection. Government building on Lambton Quay in this New Zealand capital is one of the world's largest wooden buildings? Okay, player one. That's correct. Choose again, player one. A large stone key built by the French in 1780 is still used in Port-au-Prince, its capital. Yes, player one.
Yeah!
You got it. You again, player one. We wonder whether a steamroller was used to form the many keys of this German city chartered in 1607. It's player one.
Yeah!
Hey, you're right. We return to you, player one. Circular Quay is a hub of transportation and tourism in this city. Let's hear it, player one. That's correct. Player one, you pick again, please. The director of an orchestra or chorus. Player one.
Yeah!
Good. Player one, back to you. A lofty tower forming part of a church. It's player one. That is correct. We return to you, player one. A large, many-celled berry with a leathery yellow, orange, or red rind. Let's hear it, player one.
Wow!
Correct. You again, player one. A road junction designed so that traffic streams do not intersect. Okay, player one. No. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Here's the response we were looking for. An interchange. You get to pick again, player one. To move from site to site on the internet. Player one. Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Yes, player two. Ooh, sorry. That's incorrect. Any other takers? Okay, player three. That is correct. Choose again, player three. Around 46 BC, Julius Caesar offended his countrymen by dedicating a statue to her. Yes, player one. Correct. Player one, pick again. In November 1988, she was elected Prime Minister of Pakistan, becoming the first woman to head a modern Islamic nation. It's player one. Good. Please pick again, player one. In 1616, she and her husband John Rolfe traveled to England to help raise funds for the Virginia colonists. Player one?
Yeah!
Right. Select again. Answer? One of the daily double. You are in the lead right now. How much are you going to wager, player one? You can't wager. Answer this. As an example to her Russian subjects, she and her son Paul had themselves inoculated against smallpox in 1768. That puts you even further ahead. Player 1, back to you. To further the ambitions of her brother, her father, Pope Alexander VI, arranged several marriages for her. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Oh!
Sorry, that's wrong. Anyone else? Yes, Player 2. Right. Hey, you're on the plus side. Player 2, back to you for our next selection. What do you mean I'm funny looking? I'm just this fish, also known as an anemone fish. Let's hear it, Player 1. Good. Player 1, you pick again, please. It warms the depths of my heart to know you're about to tell me the name of this small edible clam. It's Player 1. No, that's not right. Anyone else want to hazard a guess on this? Player 3? That is correct. You get to pick again, Player 3. Nessus, one of these half-horse creatures, tried to abduct Hercules' wife. Big mistake. Okay, Player 1. Yep. Please pick again, Player 1. Every 500 years or so, this bird was reborn from its own ashes. Let's hear it, Player 1.
Yeah!
Good. We return to you, Player 1.
Whoa!
Sir, the second daily double, and you're in the lead now. What are you going to wager? And the daily double clue. The first of Hercules' 12 labors was to slay the Nemean This. Afterwards, he wore its skin. Congratulations, you're still in first, Player 1. Select again. It wasn't hard for this Lernaean serpent to get ahead. Every time one of its heads was cut off, 2 grew in its place. Okay, Player 1. Good for you. You again, Player 1. She was a beautiful nymph before she was turned into a sea monster, doomed to live in a cave opposite Charybdis. Yes, Player 1. Right. Choose again, Player 1. This rare fish, discovered in 1938, has been called a living fossil. It's Player 1. Hey, you're right. Player 1, back to you for our next selection. Let's get Kelly's assistance on this clue.
These colorful organisms of the class Anthozoa include blue, precious, and horny species.
Player 1. Right. Here's the $2,000 clue. The blue whale is the largest member of this order of animals. Let's hear it, Player 1. Oh, sorry. Anyone else care to try to come up with a correct response? Here's the correct response. Cetacea. Looks like you'll all be moving on to Final Jeopardy after this break. Now, Final Jeopardy coming right up right now with this category. Landmarks. What are you going to wager? Each direction on the plus control pad represents a different response. Press a direction to select an answer. And the last clue? The quote, "with malice toward none," is on the wall of his Washington, D.C. memorial. Let's see your response. Sorry, that incorrect response will drop your score by... And your response? How much do you add to your total with that correct response? Did you come up with the correct response? And that will lose you Congratulations to you, player one. Thanks for playing, everybody. See you next time.